Hello. So today we are going to take a look at the Aviat Husky in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is a STOL aeroplane, short takeoff landing aircraft, often used for bush trips. There are many liveries for it. It also has floats and skids. So it cost about £12 from the marketplace. It's been out for about a year. And it's just a bit more powerful than some of the other STOL aeroplanes around and a bit more functional. So let's go and have a look inside. You can see it's really nicely modelled. It looks really, quite exceptional. The systems modelling though isn't kind of study level. You can't damage the engine as such. So we'll go and have a fly with it though and see how it goes. So I've got the controls up and running. So I've got the various levers working, I've got the rudder pedals working. It's quite nice that you see all the cables and everything moving around. So when you look around underneath the wings, for example, when we move the ailerons, you can see the control rods moving. Also, same goes for the tailplane, so you can see elevators moving, and even the springs on the tail wheel moving around. Okay. Let's go and get things started then. So master switch on, and then nav lights on. Start the engine. Oh, we need to put the mixture to rich first, then start the engine, and then we can go and put the avionics on. Go and put the recognition lights on, strobe lights on. We are going to go and do a really quite short route actually. So we'll go and go into the flight plan page. So OQ5 is our departure. So let's just check that on the map. It's 0Q5. So get the numbers 0 Q5, enter, is Shelter Cove, and we're going to do 12.5 miles over to Garberville, which is 016. So we want 016 Garberville, perfect, and that's plotted it on the GPS for us. Okay, so if we zoom out slightly, we'll get to see Garberville on the main screen there. If we go to, it's interesting, you can have 3D vision in this, which is really quite cool. You can do the flight plan, obviously. You can just show a map, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, so you can see you get fully digital engine readouts, which I'm not quite sure if I'm happy about, but it's the way it is. You can do things like opening the doors, so if we just click on the handle here, it will pop it open. And if we click on the handle again, it will close it. So let's go and move the flaps. So if we have a look outside, just so you can see the flap movement, because it's quite nice the way it's done. You can see it a bit better from outside actually. So it's quite a simple mechanism. It's typical of STOL aeroplanes. They have acres of flap, and then with the thrust over the flap you can get an enormous amount of lift over the airframe. Okay, so let's just crack the engine open, come off the parking brake, there's a Islander. Britain Norman BN2 Islander, I believe it is. And what's that behind it? It's a Trilander. Interesting. Okay, so we'll turn onto the taxiway. We can sit up as per usual. There's quite a strong wind coming from down the runway from the north. So we're going to take off directly from the intersection. Something we are going to do before we accelerate too much is pull the propeller speed down a bit, because it does turn out you can over stress it. So we're going to go for about 80% throttle, just gently pull back, and we're in the air. So this plane weighs nothing. Obviously visibility is very good. So this little cove, let me just get the name of it right again. So Shelter Cove. It's just to give you some idea where it is. It's way, way up the northwest coast of the US, kind of top of California. Okay, let's just turn around gently. So we're going to just circle the airfield before we set off, just to go and have a look. This is Shelter Cove. Isn't it pretty? I think these Amazon drivers need a new map. So there's no autopilot in the cockpit. So you know you're in charge of flying it, but it is very, very stable. So not so much of a problem. Okay, we need to get over this ridge to follow our route. So we're going to open the engine right the way up. So you can see here, look, the RPM is very close to the limit. So I'm holding it just off the limit on the stick here. And we'll climb our way out. So I'm going to raise the flaps now. So you can see even in quite a steep climb it's still accelerating. It's incredibly powerful, and apparently that's one of the benefits of it over things like the Savage and the the various STOL planes that come with the simulator, because this one's a bit more powerful. So we're climbing our way up towards the ridgeline. We zoom out on this, or zoom in, sorry. So we've got 11 miles to run. Getting quite a lot of turbulence, and obviously this weighs nothing. So the wind is coming from this direction, so it's going to be coming over these peaks, and it may well pull us down, because as the wind obviously stays on the line of the hill, you're going to get downdrafts. So you need to be careful of that. Right, now we've finished climbing. Just keeping an eye on the altimeter here. So you can get different displays. Timer, setup screen, and the primary screen. So I've let go of the controls now, and you can see it's fairly stable. Hey, shouldn't take too long to get there. Should open the engine up, go a little bit faster. Just playing with the mixture a little bit, see what we can get away with. Just running quite happily at 50% mixture. Obviously you get an enormous benefit in terms of range if you can lean the engine out. It's a remarkably simple aircraft, but that means it's actually, you know, very easy to think about when you're flying it. You do get nice controls for the lights inside. Obviously we don't need them at the moment. So we can have a look around inside. So the rear seat, you've got a second set of controls, and then the baggage compartment in the back is basically just a bit of stowage with a tie down point. Maximum baggage £50. We're basically rolling away from the direction we should be going. Let's go and jump back over the seat. Excuse me. So we're about 6 miles away from our destination, which is going to be down in the valley down here somewhere. Won't take too long. Should we go and descend into the valley actually, make it a bit more fun? Just descending and navigating the trees, following the valley down in towards the airfield. We zoom in, we can see it's just round this corner. Should be able to see it down here. If we press the space bar, we can sit up and see over the nose a bit more easily. And here's the runway in the trees, so it's in a step above the ground. So remember the wind was from the north, so we will be approaching from this direction. So what we're going to do is just fly a little circuit around the airfield to have a look at it before we loop back in. Come into the right hand circuit. We can't obviously do a left circuit because there's a great big hill in the way. We'll just get acquainted with the airfield, what it looks like. And then go downwind, and should be fairly straightforward. Okay. Start losing some speed. So this thing glides like a brick. You do have to be careful on low speed handling. So I've gone full flaps. You can see we can just drop in basically. Doing about 80 knots. Press space to see over the nose. And we're down. So the tail wheel isn't down yet, we're just waiting for it to fall. If you have a look from outside so you get to see that. So I'm feeding in more and more back stick to force the tail wheel into the ground. We'll just roll out and raise the flaps, which obviously removes excess lift from the wings. And gently taxi in. I love how the vehicles in Flight Simulator kind of try to arrange themselves so they always get in your way. Yeah, we would love to be parking in that spot where that yellow van is, but is it going to move? Nope, we're just going to plough straight through him. Okay, parking brake on. And pull the mixture, which will kill the engine, and turn everything off. Okay, so there we go. That's the Aviat or Aviat Husky in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is the basic model. You also get one with Tundra tyres, and as I said, you get a floats version as well. So it's a nice little aeroplane. It's obviously manual, so there's no autopilot. You have to fly it yourself. So I have no problem with that, but I know quite a lot of other people do. So maybe not the aircraft to choose for a long-range trip. But if you're just tooling around in river valleys and things, you can't go far wrong with it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.